Welcome back to Phoenix English classes. Today we are going to continue with the same story that we started in the previous video. The story is entitled as The Enemy, prescribed in Vistas CBSE board English core. Up to now we read about Hana and Sadao. They are living on a sea beach in Japan, and one day they found an American soldier washed ashore in front of their house. They went there and found that he was wounded. He had a gunshot on his back. His whole body was scratched. He was wearing only rags. Now the problem for the couple was, if they should leave that American soldier, who was the soldier of American Navy, if they should leave him there, or they should try to save his life. Up to now they were sure that he was a fugitive from the Japanese jail. He was caught prisoner, and somehow he could manage his escape from there. And sure, the Japanese army were after him. Now there was a kind of dilemma in the mind of Sadao. If he should let him die and think like a Japanese nationalist, or should he think like a doctor, a surgeon whose prime duty was to save the life until he can do it. First they try to have an opinion, a common opinion of them, if he should be thrown back into the channel, to be left there to die. His death was sure if he was left there uncured. Or they should try to tend him, or they should try to cure him, because it was the responsibility of the doctor, of a surgeon. Although they wanted him to die, yet they could not do it. They carry the man to their house, and Sadao wanted to start the procedure of the cure. And he is sure that if he wanted to cure that soldier, that young man, he had to operate him and tend him for several days. And because the decision is already taken, he is put in the bedroom of Sadao's deceased father, and another decision had been taken, that we should inform the servants of the house. There was a maid servant, Yumi, who was the nurse of his two children, and there were other gardeners and housekeepers and caretaker, etc. It was decided that they will tell everything a spade to the servants of the house, and they will start the procedure to save the life of the man who was sure their enemy. And today we are going to continue from the very place where we left it. The next part of the story, the next section of the story starts here. She went with Yumi into the bedroom next to the nursery and stood with the boy in her arms, while Yumi spread the sleeping quilts on the floor and laid the baby between them. Then Hana led the way quickly and softly to the kitchen. The two servants were frightened at what their master had just told them. The old gardener, who was also a house servant, pulled a few hairs on his upper lip. The master ought not to heal the wound of this white man, he said bluntly to Hana. The white man ought to die. First he was shot, then the sea caught him and wounded him with her rocks. If the master heals what the gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge on us. Now, all the servants have a complete information about what had happened. They are not happy with the decision of the housemasters, Sadao and Hana. They do not agree to it because all the servants are nationalists, and they could not think how can their master take such a decision which is against the nation. The prime duty, the first duty of every citizen is to support his nation in such a hard time. And how can you justify your action of saving an enemy soldier, especially when the war is on and the Americans are not going to leave any stone unturned to overcome the Japanese? This notion was there, and their reaction was very strange. First, Yumi and Hana went to the nursery. Sometimes they stood there keeping the baby in the arms, and as Hana was having the baby in her arms, Yumi spread the quilts on the floor and put the baby had slept till then, and put the baby between those quilts. And they went towards the kitchen because what was required was the hot water to wash the soldier. That's why they went towards the kitchen, and the two servants who were also working there in the house, they were amazed to hear what Hana had told them, and they were afraid also. The gardener was an old man, and he was the housekeeper also. He was so much tensed, he was so much upset with the notion that they are going to tend an enemy soldier. He was so much upset that he pulled some hairs from his upper lips, from his mustache. He was so tensed. And he gave his opinion about what the masters were doing. He gave his opinion sternly. He said that it should not be done by the master. It is a wrong decision that he is going to cure an enemy soldier. Because if that young man is an enemy soldier, he should die if he is found in the periphery of Japan anywhere, because he is enemy. He has to die. Then they recall the event, what had happened. He said the white man should die only because the Japanese soldiers were trying to kill him. He was shot in the back, and not only he was shot in the back, but also the rocks had wounded the man. And if their master is going to do something, that should be his part, which the gunshot and the sea and the ocean could not do. If he is successful in his aim of saving the life of the soldier, if he is saved, what will he do? He will simply break revenge on us for serving him, for saving him. And that was the worst thing which could be thought by those Japanese. This was the clear-cut decision of the man who was the gardener, who was only a servant. तो यहाँ तक हमने देखा कि वो नर्सरी के पास वाले कमरे में यूमी और हाना मौजूद थी और उन्होंने बच्चे को सुलाने की कोशिश की। बच्चा बड़ी जल्दी सो गया और बच्चे को अपनी गोद में लेके हाना खड़ी हुई। यूमी ने उसको लिटाने के लिए 2 रजाइयाँ अगल बगल लगाई तक बच्चे करवट ले लेते हैं, तो वो करवट लेके कहीं अपनी पोजीशन चेंज करके कहीं लुढ़क ना जाए, इसके लिए उसने 2 रजाइयाँ लगा दी और बड़े सावधानीपूर्वक उस बच्चे को उन रजाइयों के बीच में लेटा दिया गया। और फिर हाना जल्दी से चुपचाप किचन की तरफ चली गई। घर में जो 2 और नौकर थे वो अपसेट थे इस बात को लेकर, क्योंकि उन्हें अभी अभी बताया गया था कि एक एनिमी सोल्जर है जिसको हम टेंड कर रहे हैं, एक एनिमी सोल्जर है जिसको हम लुक आफ्टर कर रहे हैं और उसको क्योर करने वाले हैं, उसके घावों की मरहम पट्टी करने वाले हैं, उसका ऑपरेशन करने वाले हैं। तो सीधा सीधा उसमें जो माली था वो एक बूढ़ा व्यक्ति था, उसका अपना विचार था। उसने हाना को स्पष्ट रूप में बताया कि जो भी मालिक कर रहे हैं वो गलत है, क्योंकि वो हमारा दुश्मन सिपाही है, उसे हमारे सैनिकों ने गोली मारी है उसको मार डालने के लिए। हमारे समंदर में जहाँ से वो तैर के आ रहा है समंदर ने भी उसको नहीं बख्शा, चट्टानों ने उसको घायल किया है। तो मालिक को जो करना चाहिए वो ये कि जो काम चट्टाने और समंदर और हमारे सैनिक नहीं कर पाए उस काम को पूरा कर देना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर वो उस मानवीय भावना के अधीन कि एक मरीज है तो उसे बचाना चाहिए, अगर उसके अधीन ये ऐसा कोई कार्य करते हैं तो ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक गलती होगी, क्योंकि ठीक होने के बाद वो सैनिक करेगा क्या? वो जैपनीज से बदला लेगा फॉर सर्विंग हिम, for tending him, for curing him. I will tell him what you say, Hana replied courteously. But she herself was also frightened, although she was not superstitious as the old man was. Could it ever be well to help an enemy? Nevertheless, she told Yumi to fetch the hot water and bring it to the room where the white man was. She went ahead and slid back the partitions. Sadao was not yet here. Yumi, following, put down her wooden bucket. Then she went over to the white man. When she saw him, her thick lips folded themselves into stubbornness. I have never washed a white man, she said, and I will not wash so dirty a one now. The opinion of the old man was showing that even the servants of the family, the servants of the house did not agree to the opinion of the masters, and they were saying everything openly. It was a thing that may threaten the housemasters, the housekeepers. But Hana, who was not used to all these things, that the servants should talk to her like that in such an authoritative manner, she kept her calm. And maintaining her calm, she said, okay, I will tell the master what your opinion is. But the hidden threat that was there in what the servant had said, she was frightened. She knew that the servants were becoming rebellious, and they were presenting their ideas as if to warn the masters. That's why Hana was frightened to hear what the gardener had said, although she was not superstitious as the old man was. Old man was superstitious also. But that superstition did not have any effect on Hana. But there was another matter, and it was about the enemy soldier and his treatment. She was not sure about the treatment that they had decided to give to the enemy soldier, and she asked herself, if there would be any sense, any good sense in what they were doing. That was the question which she could answer, but she did not want to answer. Everyone knows if you are helping your enemy, it means you are strengthening them to destroy yourself. It is as clear as that. Although she asked that question, but she does not want to make an answer to it. Nevertheless, she had asked Yumi to come with hot water, and no doubt in a few minutes the hot water was ready, and it came to the room where the white man was present. That was the room of Sadao's father. When Yumi reaches that room, when she enters the room, she finds the man lying there on the floor, on the mattress. First thing that she does, she slid back the partitions. She slides the curtains so that there should be some bright light from the outside, and everything should be visible to her. Yumi put the bucket there. That was a wooden bucket in which she had got the hot water from the kitchen. Then she went over to the white man. She wanted to inquire into the matter, what she has to do, and she intently saw the face of the young man. And at that time, when she was watching the young man, and because he was an enemy soldier, her mouth twisted, and there was stubbornness on her face. A kind of firm visage was there on her face. She was strict. There was a kind of repulsion. And what she said was quite natural. She said, I have never tended, I have never washed a white man, and sure, today also I am not going to do it, either it is an order or not. I am not going to do what the masters want, because it is out of my duty. I don't want all these things, and I will not do it because it is against my conscience, it is against my duty, it is beyond my duty. That's why I am not going to do it. अब यहाँ इस हिस्से में स्टोरी के हाना को बड़ा आश्चर्य हुआ और क्रोध भी आया कि एक सर्वेंट इस तरह से कह रहा है कि मास्टर को क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, मालिक को क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, मालिक गलत कर रहे हैं, एक तरह की धमकी है। हाना को बुरा लग रहा है, उसे क्रोध भी आ रहा है, लेकिन वो अपना क्रोध बिल्कुल शांत रखती है और अपने क्रोध को जाहिर नहीं होने देती है। वो सिर्फ इतना कहती है कि मैं मालिक को बता दूंगी जो तुमने कहा है, तुम्हारी जो ओपिनियन है वो मैं बता दूंगी। हालांकि हाना उस बूढ़े आदमी की तरह अंधविश्वासी तो नहीं थी, लेकिन उसके मन में भी ये सवाल था कि एक दुश्मन सिपाही की मदद करना क्या ठीक काम है, क्या वो सही डिसीजन ले रहे थे। हालांकि इसका जवाब भी उसके पास था, लेकिन वो इस जवाब को खुद से देना नहीं चाहती थी। फिर उसने यूमी को कहा गर्म पानी लेकर आने के लिए, उसी जगह पे जहाँ पे वो गोरा आदमी लिटाया गया था, सदाओ के पिता के बेडरूम में। खैर यूमी आई, उस कमरे में पहुंची, उसने पर्दे हटाए और अभी तक सदाओ वहाँ पे नहीं पहुंचा हुआ था। यूमी ने वहाँ से जाते हुए वो लकड़ी की बनी हुई बाल्टी थी जिसमें गर्म पानी लेकर आई थी, उसने नीचे रखा और उस गोरे आदमी की तरफ गई और बड़े ध्यान से उसके चेहरे को देखा और उस चेहरे को देखते ही उसके होंठ सिकुड़े। शी हैड थिक लिप्स, the lips were convulsed and there was stubbornness on her face. उसके चेहरे पर सख्ती के दृढ़ता के निशान आए और उसने कहा कि मैं गोरे आदमी को कभी भी नहला नहीं सकती और मैंने आज तक ये नहीं किया है, और एक ऐसे गंदे गोरे आदमी को मैं बिल्कुल भी नहीं साफ करूँगी क्योंकि ये मेरी ड्यूटी नहीं है। हाना cried at her severely. You will do what your masters command you. There was so fiery a look of resistance upon Yumi's round, dull face that Hana felt unreasonably afraid. After all, if the servant should report something that was not as it happened. Very well, she said with dignity. You understand, we only want to bring him to his senses so that we can turn him over as a prisoner. I will have nothing to do with it, Yumi said. I am a poor person and it is not my business. Then please, Hana said gently, return to your own work. At once, Yumi left the room, but this left Hana with the white man alone. She might have been too afraid to stay had not her anger at Yumi's stubbornness now sustained her. Another bad episode happened there. When she said that I will not wash a white man, it is not my duty, Hana shouted at her. She said, it is your duty. Whatever your master say, that is your duty. That is the duty of the servants. Although she said it, yet when she read the face of Yumi, there was a kind of resistance. Hana was taken aback. She was afraid to see, because she was thinking of the consequences if some of the servant, if any of the servant of the family would go to the authorities and will tell that the doctor couple is having an American army soldier tending at their house, what might have happened? That was the thought that Hana could not give any exposure to such kind of indignity from Yumi's side, from the servant's side. Once again she kept calm and she said, she tried to explain to Yumi that it is not our motto to save him and to protect him. Our only purpose is to tend him, to give him treatment, and if he is okay, we will send him back to the prison. This is our aim, this is our motto. We are not the traitors. She tried to explain the things to the lady, to the maid servant. And then Yumi, whom Hana wanted to understand the things, Yumi said in the same voice. She said, okay, then it's your business, it's none of mine. I will do nothing for that enemy soldier. Because I am a poor person, you are the rich people, you are the people with resources, you are the people with better reach. You can save yourselves. But I am a poor person. If I am charged with such a remark that she is a traitor, she was tending a man who was an enemy soldier or who was a soldier from the enemy country, what would happen to me? There is no one to protect me. Then I am a poor person, I am doing my duty, and this is none of my business, this is none of my duty. Please don't say any such things that is against nation, that is against our beliefs as Japanese, because I am not going to do it. Hana was gentle this time. She said, okay, then go and do what is your duty. Don't clean him, don't wash him. If you think it is not your duty, it's okay. You can go and do your own business, do your own work, that is the household work. At once Yumi left the room, and once again Hana was there all alone with that white man in the room. She might have been too afraid. It was possible that she would have been too afraid if Yumi was there beside her. But now that fear sustained her. Now Yumi had gone and Hannah was all alone. But this time she is not so afraid as she had been, because she was angry with Yumi. Anger mitigated the sense of fear. Hannah was calm now. She only said, "Stupid Yumi," she muttered icily. "Is this anything but a man and a wounded, helpless man?" This is the remark that she had made after Yumi had gone. See, this is the impact. Your servants do not obey you when they find that you are wrong somewhere. That had happened with Hannah, but Hannah to maintain the equilibrium of her own emotions, she said that it is foolishness what Yumi is saying. He is nobody, he is not a soldier, he is only a man who is wounded and he is helpless, he is of no harm to us, he can wreak no harm to us. अब यहाँ पे क्या हुआ कि हाना ने बड़ी सख्ती से उसके ऊपर शाउट किया और कहा कि तुम ये नहीं कह सकती हो, तुम्हारी ड्यूटी नहीं है, तुम्हारी ड्यूटी वो है जो तुम्हारे मास्टर्स कहें, जो मालिक कहेंगे वो तुम्हारी ड्यूटी है। लेकिन यूमी के चेहरे पर तो विरोध था, वो जानती थी कि मेरी ड्यूटी नहीं है, और हालांकि इसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं थी, फिर भी हाना ने उसके चेहरे के भावों को देख के जो महसूस किया वो डर के अलावे और कुछ नहीं था। वो डर गई यूमी के इस रूप को देख के, क्योंकि वो डरती थी इस बात से कि अगर कोई नौकर चला जाएगा और अथॉरिटीज़ को रिपोर्ट कर देगा कि ये डॉक्टर दंपति ये एक दुश्मन सिपाही को घर में पाल रहे हैं, गॉड नोज व्हाट माइट हैपन टू देम, कुछ भी हो सकता था। ये रिपोर्ट पहुंचते ही वो देशद्रोही करार दे दिए जाते। इसलिए एक बार फिर से हाना ने अपने स्वभाव को, अपने भाव को छुपाया, अपने क्रोध को छुपाया और कहा, अच्छा ठीक है, लेकिन मैं तुम्हें बता दूं कि हमारा भी देशद्रोह का कोई इरादा नहीं है, हम सिर्फ चाहते हैं कि होश में आ जाए, और जैसे ही वो होश में आके इस लायक हो जाएगा कि वो मरने वाली पोजीशन में नहीं है, मरने वाली स्थिति में नहीं है, तो हम उसे अपनी आर्मी को सौंप देंगे, क्योंकि वो वॉर प्रिजनर है और वापस वो प्रिजन में चला जाएगा। यूमी ने कहा, देखिए इन सब राजनीति की चीज़ों से मेरा कोई लेना देना नहीं, मैं एक गरीब इंसान हूँ, मैं अपनी ड्यूटी करना जानती हूँ बस, और मुझे ये पता है कि ये मेरा काम नहीं है। हाना फिर धीमी आवाज़ में ही बोली, वो जानती थी इस समय वो शाउट नहीं कर सकती है, इस समय वो अथॉरिटी नहीं दिखा सकती है। उसने कहा, तो ठीक है, आप अपने काम करिए, जो आपका काम है वो आप काम करिए, नहीं आप हाउस होल्ड का दूसरा काम करिए, आपको ये काम करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं। यूमी तो तुरंत चली गई, लेकिन अब हाना एक बार फिर से वही उसी स्थिति में जिसमें वो नहीं रहना चाहती है। वो एक गोरे आदमी के साथ किसी जगह पे अकेले नहीं रहना चाहती है, लेकिन वो अकेली है, और अभी वो डर गई होती। अगर वो पहले वाली पोजीशन होती तो हाना डर जाती उस गोरे आदमी के साथ अकेले उस कमरे में होने के कारण, लेकिन इस बार वो नहीं डर रही है, क्योंकि उसको यूमी के ऊपर क्रोध आ रहा है, यूमी के ऊपर वो नाराज़ हो रही है, और जिस चीज़ से आप डरते हैं अगर वहाँ पे आप मौजूद हों, उस व्यक्ति के सामने मौजूद हो और आपको किसी पर क्रोध आ जाए तो डर अपने आप गायब हो जाता है और क्रोध हावी हो जाता है। क्रोध की एक अच्छाई भी ये है कि आपके डर को मिटा देता है। हाना का डर खत्म हो गया। हाना वहाँ पे अब भयभीत होकर खड़ी नहीं थी, बल्कि वो नाराज़ होकर खड़ी थी, और उसकी नाराज़गी उस वाइट मैन के लिए नहीं बल्कि यूमी के लिए थी, जो उसकी नौकरानी थी। लेकिन आज वो उसे उस लहजे में उस तरह से ट्रीट नहीं कर रही थी जैसे कि एक नौकर को एक मालिक को ट्रीट करना चाहिए। उनके भावों में धमकी छुपी हुई है, और उसने अपने आप से कहा कि ये बेवकूफ़ है, यूमी स्टूपिड है। गुस्से में वो बड़बड़ाई और उसने कहा, इस आदमी से दुश्मनी निकालने का क्या फ़ायदा, ये सिर्फ एक इंसान है और एक घायल इंसान है जो किसी को नुकसान नहीं पहुंचा सकता है। अब इस लाइन से हम तुरंत समझ पाते हैं कि हाना एंड सदाओ, दे आर द रियल मैन एंड वाइफ, दे आर अटैच्ड इन थॉट रियल, दे शेयर एवरीथिंग। जो बात सदाओ को सबसे पहले समझ में आ गई थी कि एक घायल व्यक्ति सिर्फ एक घायल व्यक्ति है, वो ना तो सिपाही है और ना ही कोई दुश्मन है। हाना जब गुस्से में आई तो उसने यही चीज़ खुद से स्वीकार कर ली, यही बात स्वीकार कर ली, और वो बात यह है कि ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक निसहाय घायल व्यक्ति है, इसके अलावे कुछ भी नहीं है। ही कैन रेक नो हार्म टू एनीबडी, ही इज अनेबल टू सेव हिज लाइफ, ही नीड्स अस, ही नीड्स help, he needs doctors, and except of these realities of his life, there is no other reality, there is no other threat. Here we will stop today, and I think you can understand what is being taught here. We will continue the same chapter, we will continue the same story in the next video also. Keep watching the video and you will get the link one after the other. I think the link will come on alternate days, and you will sure understand the story. The story is now going to be more interesting. So don't leave even one sentence or one line of the story. It is amazing and it will give you some lessons till we end the story. So keep being with us, and if you find anything difficult, you can communicate to me. The comment box is there. Read the description. In all the videos, there is something that is really worthwhile, and it is always written in description. Open the description, find the difficult words and meanings, and if there is anything, if there is any thought that is more important, that will also be given in description. So I hope you are enjoying the thing. Have a nice day, and keep liking, keep subscribing and keep sharing the videos. Thank you.